Okay, welcome back to the Rock and Roll Plus channel, the second channel for the Rock and Roll channel. This is the one traveling, comedy, and wrestling. And I got a special guest. I reached out to his publicist and Barry Bloom, the Rock's agent. No, but all seriousness though, I got the one, the only Stevie Breech. He is. I'm just gonna give a little backstory on him. If I'm wrong, please correct me. I call him the OG YouTuber. He did wrestling vlogs and commentary and all that before it was even a thing. Um, so he's been someone that's inspired a new generation of wrestling people. I mean, it's got to be amazing to this guy how much the YouTube world has grown since he started in it. His vlogs back in the day I used to watch, and I remember saying if I ever do a vlog, I love so much of his style. And he's grown a Twitter following. I mean, and does little things so well that people make a grand thing now. But he was the OG of the shop unboxings and just a quick recap of Raw before it was a YouTube live stream thing. Everything. So Stevie, welcome to the channel. He'll be making his Wrestlemania return this year. That's how we got back in touch. He will be in Vegas. This is his return since Dallas, right?
32. Honestly, that was a really good trip. It was fun. I was going through a lot of hard times, and I think what really crushed me was just getting into Jerry World that day at AT&T Stadium. We weren't messing around. We weren't like hanging out in the parking lot. We literally walked off a bus that dropped us off, and then we waited, I believe, 5 hours to get into the stadium and into our seats. It was, I don't know what happened at WrestleMania 38 if they got it better, but that was the only thing I was thinking that day was just like, man, this sucks. Like, it's fun.
I've always been leery. I remember you told that story, and I've done a few manias after that, and I was leery, and I think they got it right. I think that was just a stadium Wi-Fi issue, right?
I don't know what happened. That's the closest I've ever done. Like losing my cool big time. I looked at a guy, I showed him my ticket. I was like, where do I go? And he's like, oh, you go that way. And I was like, no, I paid $1,000 for this ticket. You're gonna show me where to go. Like I lost my cool for a good minute there. Like I couldn't believe it. And then the five of us that walked in, we all lost each other. So I don't know what happened. So it was just bad.
No, I think didn't you guys have to miss like
we missed the whole pre-show.
You missed, but you were there for like Styles Jericho, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The opening fireworks. We saw the guys come out.
Okay, good. I remember you missed yeah.
In my mind, I thought the first match was the ladder match, but I'm not 100% sure.
It was.
Yeah, we saw the whole thing. It was just like we just got there like one person after another, and it was just. Like I'm thinking about this year's WrestleMania. I don't want to skip ahead too much, but like I turn on the pre-shows and I'm like, they gotta have a match because they always had a match. And now that I'm getting back into it, I realize like, why do they have 2-hour pre-shows with no matches? So it's like, what time do I really need to show up to WrestleMania? Right. But I want that same thing to happen where I'm standing in the parking lot trying to get in, and I missed something.
No, that's the crazy thing about that now is you're used to it because you're from California.
Yeah.
We're used to 7, 8 o'clock shows here. Like I want to, for my vlog, which I really hope to see you in Vegas and get you in somehow. But I want to film the tailgate.
Oh, okay. Which one are you going to?
Oh, no, I'm just going to walk around and see.
Okay.
I just decided this week to go to Mania, believe it or not.
Oh, that last year?
Yeah.
I just woke up. I remember it was a Friday. And I said, hey, I think I want to go to Philadelphia. And like, I never pushed the button, but I found my hotel. I found my flight. Really? I found out the information about WrestleCon. And the only thing that like spooked me out was WrestleMania was 2 days. And I was like, I've never done 2 days.
It's awesome.
And the price of the ticket, and then I had to think, and then I was trying to see if it was cheaper if I bought one ticket and then another ticket, and somewhere I just was like, you know what, like this wasn't supposed to happen, but I really wanted to go. And then like 2 weeks later, The Rock shows up, says he's going to be a part of it, and the tickets went even higher. And I was like, I could have been there. That was the only thing I was thinking about when I was watching the show. Was like, I could have been there.
Yeah, last year was my first 2-night one. It was awesome like that. Night 2 obviously was a lot better, but I like it better because like there's usually a Saturday before was Access and Hall of Fame.
Uh-huh.
At that point, you're a little over all the pomp and circumstance, and you're ready to get the show. Like you said it best, dude. I don't know how it's all coming back to me, but I remember one of your, I don't know, your preview shows. You talked about, man, it's like the Hall of Fame at about 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, when you're like, all right, now it's hitting me.
Oh yeah,
it's so cool. The Friday night before, when you're like, oh, it's tomorrow,
uh,
and every match has a bigger storyline because of the 2 nights now.
you got to be careful though too. I mean, like the Hall of Fame, I understand they don't do it. Like it's up in the air with what I read. They don't even know how they're doing it this year.
Yeah,
I bet at this point, with no arena, no banquet hall, no tickets, it's just going to be with SmackDown. That's my guess. But they're just trying to milk as much money out of us as they can. But I've 2 of my friends fall asleep at the Hall of Fame because they just didn't budget their time. And it's really easy. You're sitting there, you listen to a speech, it takes you back to like a high school teacher just talking to you, and next
it does.
they're conked, man. And it's just like that's why I think WrestleMania 31, we decided it was better to go to like wrestling shows. We used to go to the WrestleCon Super Show, which used to run at the same time. Now it's on Thursdays. So that's changed. But like being in that type of atmosphere, it's harder not to fall asleep.
No, I agree. I vowed after the last WrestleMania in Orlando, the year Kurt Angle got in, I said, I'm never doing one of these again.
Oh, that was a fun one. I watched it at home. That's one of the
it's okay. It's just
watch. Yeah.
Access used to make it much more exhausting. A WrestleMania weekend, you had to be there by 5, 6 a.m. or whatever it seemed like for your meeting. It just that took everything out of you. Now with the world kind of at your own leisure, it's a little more. I don't know. The weekend seems to be a lot easier to just.
I don't want to cut in on you or not like nothing like that. But I bought a world ticket for Thursday, and I've already told in my head like this is not old school Stevie Breech. I'm not waiting in a line to meet. No offense. I'm not waiting in a line to meet Dezawa. I'm not waiting in a line to meet
Woods.
Like I told myself when I bought the ticket, like unless it's the Good Brothers, that's the only people that I was like, I will wait in their line. But other than that, I'm going to the world mainly just to look around, see the Hall of Fame stuff, look at like the Topps display, the Mattel display. I want to get some pictures if they have the things set up like the ECW set or the Raw set. Or
I hope they had the ECW this year too.
Yeah,
they had the old school one last year because it was Philadelphia.
Yeah, that stuff was like I was like I'm missing out. Like,
and they're advertising this is going to be the largest superstore ever.
Oh, God, they want all the money.
This
is not. I apologize. This is not Vince McMahon's WWE anymore. People need
apologizing. I agree with you.
This is TKO. Triple H is in charge, but there's other people pulling the levers, and all they want is more and more and more. They need to pay back what they paid to buy WWE, and they also want to make a profit.
Of course.
So, I mean, for the people that are saying that they only care about the money, they only care about the money. That's why they bought it. I mean,
it's not a family business anymore. Like it used to be. I think you said that once, right? I might be stealing your line. It's not a family business anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
But I don't feel okay. The prices and the tickets have gotten crazy. I'm hoping in time that'll change. But I don't feel ripped off with the product though.
I don't even understand where like the dynamic pricing. Does Ticketmaster get a cut of that?
You talking about a 2-day combo?
No. Like you know how like I think they call it dynamic pricing, where the prices go up as
on the official platinum.
Does WWE and Ticketmaster split that? Does WWE get all of it? Does Ticketmaster get all of it?
They're always talking about some seats that say like official platinum.
No. Like when I went to go buy seats, like I saw a seating chart and they were like these 400 level seats, I think, or wherever the highest one's up. We're supposed to be 650. And then by the time I got into the presale, they were at 11. And then I was like, well, I'll just hold off a little bit. And then they went up to like 14. So they weren't
seats that fluctuate based on the market.
Yeah. So
There's some seats that are, but then you got to be careful there because some seats had the limited view.
yeah, yeah,
And I can imagine going all the way to Vegas and get a limited view.
yeah.
I'd be so mad. But you did a great job on your you did it last week or the week before. You did a great job on your vlog. Not vlog, excuse me, your
Oh, Wrestlemania
commentary.
41.
Your tips of Vegas. I thought you were like a pro, like hadn't been there a million times like I have. And then you're like, no, I've only been there once.
I literally was just typing in like Vegas
Mhm.
tips, and I was
Yeah.
just learning from the people that make videos for people going there for the first time. And I just was kind of like writing notes, and I just sat down and I just knocked them all out. I mean, there's a lot of things that you would miss if you weren't paying attention, or if you don't make like a schedule. I have the thing in my notes app that just basically is notes, like it just by day of like do this, do this, do this, and at the bottom is like things I hope I can fit in, places that I want to eat, and that's how I keep track of like what I'm gonna do.
I got to start doing that. Like I just decided the other day because I have to be in Seattle that Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
So I said, why don't I just go out west a few days early and go to Wrestlemania? I
That's
mean, kind of crazy not to, like at that point.
at
Uh,
this point, like planning like where you're gonna stay. Like, were you able to find like an affordable place?
yeah, the flight, the rates actually dropped in the last month,
Oh, good. That's really, really good.
so I was happy about that. And like I've been to Vegas a million times, not bragging there,
Uh,
so I know right away. Like I was in Vegas actually back in December. I got to tour Legion Stadium, so I knew right where I wanted to stay. Money, I mean, obviously money permitting, because I wanted to. I said, all right, this is a nice thing of a Legion. I can walk right from the Luxor to there.
that's awesome.
That's
That's
a
really,
short walk. That's I wanted that.
people
And
are
then
saying I'm crazy because I want to stay at the Westgate, and that's like at the end of the strip. But for me, like I think I'm gonna hit WrestleCon almost every day.
there you go.
One of the days I want to meet Kevin Nash. I want to get my Wolfpack title signed, and
Mhm.
I don't want to lug that thing around all day. I'm
You're
just
right.
go to my room, pick the belt up, go down, meet Kevin Nash, go back to my room, and I'll put it away. And
You can't put a price tag on staying where an event's at.
yeah, and I just learned you jump on that monorail, you take
Mhm.
it down, and you basically just walk across. So I don't know.
And they've gotten much better with their Uber system at hotels now
Oh, good.
than before. Before they used to make it so difficult because they wanted the cabs to get the fare.
Uh,
Now they're making it much more accessible. Like I know a lot of GCW people I talked to were staying at the Palms because
oh,
they had like 6 shows there.
that was the one place that I was kind of worried about because
Yeah.
everybody always talked about the Palms because it's owned by the guys who used to own the Sacramento Kings. When I go there, I really just want to flip the place off. I hate those guys. They did us dirty here. But that one, it seems like it's like off the strip. So I
It
was
is completely off the strip.
how long did it take to get there?
It's you know where the Rio is?
Yeah.
Across the street, like right by there.
Okay.
In that on that road.
Yeah,
Past that a little bit.
I have to go there Thursday.
Oh, Defy? It'll
But I'm going there for the Major Brothers podcast.
Oh yeah, that's the evening show. I'm torn on
Oh,
that night because I want to do that, but I'm also torn because like Chris Van Vliet, I know from down here.
oh,
To
cool.
live here, I used to see him at shows. He would ring announce at shows. He's got a show at the same time at the Circa.
Once it's over, the Dolph and his brother are having a show.
I was gonna surprise you with that.
I bought a ticket to that the other day, and I'll tell you the truth. I really hope they do the like the meet and greet before the show because I'm an old man, dude. And that thing starts at midnight.
I know.
And my day, I'm thinking on Friday is starting at like 8 a.m. And like I'm just worried if I can go that long. Like
I think that's Thursday. Yeah, because WrestleCon. That's
yeah.
why I'm actually excited for day one of WrestleMania because I'm like I'm planning nothing before 3:30
Oh, I got you.
on Saturday, which is going to be my way of like recovering a little bit because I think WrestleCon's going to be a 1 day thing for me. I went through the list because I got an encyclopedia I'm trying to get signed, but I've been lazy about it. There's only like 1 or 2 people I really need.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
I think I have
Last year was insane in Philadelphia.
encyclopedias. I haven't been to WrestleMania in so long. That thing was like the thing to like bring back in the day.
Yeah.
because I haven't been to WrestleCon in a long time. I've been watching a lot of like people's WrestleCon vlogs over the last few years,
Mhm.
and like I don't see anybody with him anymore. Like
And I'm it. I'm like, yeah, I got a few. It's great to have, like, because you always have something to get signed. It's not as crazy as bringing a figure.
oh, that's I learned that like the first year we went to WrestleMania in Atlanta. Like I just was thinking like that was like the coolest thing to get signed at the time. And then
Still
like
is.
I was lugging around a box like through
Like,
act.
that was before paint pens were a thing.
Oh man, yeah.
But that's the thing is, I want to try to focus more on things people wouldn't normally get to see at WrestleMania. Like the show itself, people are going to see. Yeah, you want to show it from a live perspective, but I really want to hit those GCW shows. I think there's going to be some great ones.
Yeah, those would be fun. Those would be really fun.
Yeah, I think there's.
Shoot on.
But the Dick Nemeth one, he was on the Jericho Cruise right before
Oh,
this.
awesome! Friday, I have an open spot. And I was either thinking about going to SmackDown or the Joey Janela show.
I'm leaning to the Janela.
I was thinking about. Rabbi, my Assault and Battery, he went to SmackDown, and I have texted with him today, but like he did some tweets about how boring it was. It'd be 3 hours, and I was like, dude, you're right. Like, I don't think I want to do SmackDown.
Plus the Hall of Fame after that.
Oh, that would even make it worse. That's probably 2 more hours on top of that. And
yeah, Triple H is not going to be told to get off the stage.
Oh no, no.
Like, if you think about it, like Kane's not going to come out like and say get off. Like
he's like my number, like he's either number 1 or number 2. It's him and Hogan.
Oh, okay.
Back and forth, and like I just believe that it's going to be on the network, and I can watch it then. I mean, that's what I believe. Even though I don't really know what's going on with the network, that's another topic for another day. But I just believe that I'll be able to see it one way or another. I was
last year.
Like, what's the latest I could show up to SmackDown? Because it's the go home. They might have a match that decides a match at Mania that like nobody's really going to care about. But like, other than that, like the guys are just going to stand there and look at each other. Like nothing ever really happens.
I agree. That's why I'd rather do something that I can't see unless I'm there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Last year, we did the ECW tribute show at the ECW arena instead of SmackDown.
Oh, yeah, that's something I would have been at. Yeah, I would have wondered how I was going to get out there. But yeah, that's something that you have to.
It's not that far from. It's only like 3 miles from where the WrestleMania was.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't that place up.
It's all right near each other. It was a great time. They had a meet and greet before it if you wanted to do that. Dudley's were there, Sandman. I know I'm missing a few. And then but it was just cool to see. Now I finally got to do a beer thing with Sandman. Well, he didn't pour it on me, but just singing Enter Sandman like there in the ECW arena. And they let you walk around before the show and pose by the entrance and everything. It was really cool.
I'm not sure if it's in my mind. I thought it was in like the locker room, but there's like a mural there or something.
In the bathroom.
Oh, it is everybody can go back there? Okay.
Yeah, I'll DM you a picture of it. Literally, in the bathroom, there's a mural of ECW the years of whatever, really from whatever to 2001 or whatever.
Yeah, but that's awesome.
Yeah, oh, so cool. So that's I've learned like Mania, and I learned in your vlogs a lot back in the day. Try to do some of the smaller things. It's more intimate and stuff you don't always get to do.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely fired up for that. But yeah, I figured we'd get into a little. You did a great job starting with the WrestleMania stuff. What are you looking forward to returning back to Mania this year? The big return.
Just feel the magic, man. Like it's the biggest show that you can go to. Whenever we would go there and go to like the actual WrestleMania, like we would like kind of you're in like the atmosphere. Everybody there's a wrestling fan. Nobody just shows up not knowing. So I mean, you literally can have a conversation with almost anybody. And I remember like this one kid just being like, this is the first show I've ever been to. And I was like, you've never been to a house show? You never been to Raw? Like the first show is WrestleMania? And he's like, well, in my hometown. So we came and I was like, dude, you're wrecked. Like you'll never be able to go to another show your whole life.
Yeah, I had that in Miami since I'm from South Florida.
But like I love the Super Bowl. I love my 49ers. But I'm never gonna go to a Super Bowl. But WrestleMania, even though it is getting really expensive, it's in within our means to go. Like it's not just bought up by like corporate sponsors and things like
That's
that.
true.
Like that's probably the biggest thing I can go to. So that's why I like going to WrestleMania. I mean, we know like you buy a ticket to Monday Night Raw. You even might buy a ticket to like SummerSlam and hope something big happens. WrestleMania, you know something's happening. Like that's just the way it goes.
I've never regretted going to one. I've never left one saying, all right, I think I'm done for a while.
I hate when you come home and like you have to defend it to people. Like when we went to 27, people were like, "Oh, that show sucked," and I was like, "I thought that was an awesome show." And it's just like you like have to like get in these battles of like was the show worth the money? And it's like I look back now and I'm like, we paid $110 for our WrestleMania tickets at WrestleMania 27,
and you had a trip you'll never
forget. If we can get them for them at that price now.
Yeah, I know. Imagine that. I can imagine what I would do for that now. But you had a trip you'll never forget.
Yeah.
Like, I always learned to figure the ones who wanted to be there and couldn't. So their way of doing it is just to attack everything about it. So I learned that. But I had that, a few times. Oh yeah, your show wasn't good, or this person didn't really get a pop, or like it's like okay, like
I'm very open. Like for the past 10 years, or not, almost 10 years, 9 years, I removed myself from wrestling. Like I didn't really care about anything other than that was like the main news. So I'm really just getting back into like really watching all of Raw. I watched most of SmackDown. And so like there's some guys that like I know who they are, but I don't really understand what the hell's going on with them. So
but you don't have to.
Yeah.
It's like,
this Cody Rock thing, like the show that happens tonight, we would find out who Cody's even gonna fight, and just like this mystery of trying to figure out what story they're telling right now. It's just like it can't beat it. Like this is gonna be awesome.
I mean, WWE's never been firing on all cylinders like this.
I will say
that a hater at one point. When AEW started, I was done with WWE. I hated how they ran the company. I hated everything about it. But I give them credit for reshuffling the deck and doing what they're doing now.
I think right now they need to kind of watch what they're doing. I know I defended them charging whatever they can charge because that's what they're doing.
And they're getting it.
I really think that AEW, if they change their focus just a little bit, they're coming to my town Wednesday. I have tickets for Dynamite here.
Has to go home for Revolution.
I bought those tickets, and they weren't WrestleMania prices, but I mean they're running a smaller arena. They're not running the arena the Kings play in, the basketball arena here. It's a smaller one, but the ticket price came up, and I was kind of like, oh, okay. Like I didn't know that. If they kind of like shifted their focus and made themselves a more affordable, like, hey, if you can go to Raw and spend $200 to sit in 100 sections, or you can come to AEW and we'll charge you like $20 to $40 to sit in the hundreds. I think they can get it back on track. That roster that AEW has is awesome. And
I agree.
I think it just needs eyes on the product. So many people that don't watch it just comment on it. And it's kind of like what TNA was for years. Like if you watch the show, it's a damn good show.
Yeah, especially like 2010 to 13. They had a stacked roster. I like what they're doing a little bit more now with the theater, like being in theaters. I think it looks great on TV.
That's kind of what the place is that they're going to on Wednesday. It's called Memorial Auditorium. I've seen more concerts there than anything else. TNA did run a show there. I went there. It's gonna look really cool, especially if they can show the I don't want to call it the upper deck, but kind of like like the old school Raws, like back in the day, like
the Manhattan Center.
Yeah. It's got those, and I think that can look really, really cool. Like I was like, I wish I was sitting up there.
Absolutely. No, if you do it right on camera, it's gonna look great.
Yeah.
And the Phoenix show would look great. The Cincinnati show would look great. I think they need to get back to that a little to get to where they need to. Like, it's summertime is when you need to be in the bigger arenas because there's no hockey or basketball.
There you go.
Take advantage of that. But no, I couldn't agree more because I was just in the Jericho cruise, and those wrestlers, they worked their tails off there.
I'm jealous of that. Like I didn't hear
awesome.
much about this one as I have the ones in the past, but like I've been even the 1 year when nobody can get on the boat, and there was the big like debate on Twitter. Everybody was all bitching.
COVID cruise.
Wait so long. Like I was like, I wish I was waiting in that line. I'll wait as long as you want because I know
I got
that.
lucky. Like I'm never gonna take the heat for that one. I got lucky. I got there early. I waited maybe 2 hours, almost 3, but it wasn't bad. Except for hot kind of warehouse and you're wearing a mask. But I had the ship to myself for a good 4 or 5 hours.
There you go.
I mean, literally, I can't complain. They did everything right. Jericho, even I don't know if you heard what Jericho did. He went because he was upset about it. He felt terrible. He had on his own dime. He had food and water brought in. And then he went to the president of NCL and Six Man who runs the cruise. We have to do something for the passengers. A simple "I'm sorry" is not going to cut it.
There you go.
He goes, or a letter in the cabin saying we're sorry. So they gave everybody $100 credit.
Oh, that's awesome.
Spend on the ship, a merch store or wherever. And they'd already given us a drink package for that cruise. So we were coming out really good on that one.
There you go.
And I learned on that cruise, I'd rather talent who might not be as big a name as some people, but would rather just want to be there to have fun and work and interact with you more than maybe some bigger names who just don't want to be bothered.
That's like WrestleCon. That's the kind of the same thing I have. Is like there's like the dream people that you would want to meet, but like the guy that really doesn't have a line that you're kind of like wondering, like, I wonder why he's here. Like you just go up to him and you can talk to him like forever. I mean, you basically have until somebody else comes up, and those are the awesome times that you remember.
Exactly. People say some of who your best experiences. It was arguably Rey Mysterio when I met him in Fort Lauderdale. Ray's the type of guy that talks to you like you're a friend of 10, 20 years, wants to get to know you. Like, we're in line and I'm getting pushed, and he's asking me, when did you become a wrestling fan? What match was it? It was right before the first All In. And then we did the pro photo later, and you've done a pro photo. You're in there 30 seconds out. He stopped me and was like, are you going to All In? And I was like, the ticket's sold out in 30 seconds now. He goes, I understand. It's going to be a great show, but I'd hate for you to get ripped off on the secondary market. And like, that's Ray. Those are the stories I remember the most. Yeah, autographs are cool, but
I got invited to go to that show, and I had to turn it down. I wasn't in a spot in my life to be able to do and stuff like that. And my friends went, and that was a fun wrestling show. I understand why they were able to launch AEW after that. That was just a great experience all over for everybody that was there.
Because people said, the first Jericho cruise, AEW was already a thing. It wasn't. I mean, Ring of Honor was on the cruise. I don't think it was finalized.
I think, honestly, in my mind, I've always thought that if whoever's in charge, Vince, Hunter, whoever, let NXT guys go on that boat, I don't think Jericho ever goes to Japan. I don't think Jericho ever goes to AEW, and he'd still be doing this stuff in WWE today.
That's because, he says it, and I think you're right. He says that he knew they would never do it, but he had to give them the first option.
That's right.
And then he said that WWE probably thought I would never do it if they wouldn't do it.
I think the same thing is like when he came and he was like, I'm thinking about doing this New Japan thing, just match it and I won't do it. I think that Vince was trying to play like a game of chicken and didn't think Jericho would be able to put together his own cruise, and was kind of like, you're going to have to come here and I'm going to have to save you. And
right. Absolutely. Funny. Before the first cruise, Ring of Honor was in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, there you
go. I'm at the meet and greet. It was Cody and then Kenny. And that was the week on the dirt sheets where the report had come out that NXT turned it down. And Cody already announced for the cruise. Bucks were, I don't know, because Kenny was announced after Japan. But they're all talking about it. And I brought it up to Cody. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm so glad you guys are coming. He's like, man, I can't wait to see Jericho on the cruise. I hope we don't have to turn around 1 hour later and drop him off. But then he goes to Kenny. He grabs Kenny. He goes, hey, Kenny, did you hear NXT actually turned down this cruise? And I'm laughing. I'm like, all right, this is good. And I said to him, it's going to be so much better with you guys anyway. And he kind of paused and looked, and he said, yeah. So it worked out for the better. It worked out better for Jericho because he doesn't have to pay AEW
Yeah.
wrestlers membership.
Then the second one they did the actual Dynamite on it, right?
Yes.
No, that was awesome. That was a really, really good show. You knew somebody was going in the pool. Like, yeah.
I didn't even think about that day, and I should have known because I was at a Panama City. Nash did the cannonball.
Oh, you went to Club Avila?
I was at Club Avila when Sting came down from the helicopter.
I never went there for a wrestling show, but I went there for spring break.
Wow.
I'm gonna say 99. I went to a Club Avila. We went to New Orleans, Cash Money, Juvenile. We went to a Juvenile concert.
Nice.
He never showed up. It came out like later that he got arrested that day.
Right.
And like I remember like all the I'll call us. I was 17 at the time, I think.
Right.
Like they were trying to get us to leave, saying like there was gonna be no show that night. We need you to leave. And I was like, oh, we ain't leaving. And then like some cops started coming in to try and filter everybody out. And I saw the one cop come and he like hit that baton stick where like the thing like gets real long. And I was like, let's go. We out here.
I went to school like an hour and a half from there.
Oh, that's really, really cool.
So
my mom lives.
I begged a couple people. I'm like, I think tickets were like $25, general admission. I was like, I think we got to do this, man.
Yeah, I would, no doubt.
You didn't get Nitro down there that often. It was so you weren't going to get it at all in Tallahassee. So we got one Thunder in all my days there, and that was the one that Ric Flair got fired over.
Oh shoot! Oh, okay. I know
that. The one where he was told to be there, and he said, "No, I'm supposed to go to the wrestling thing."
Yeah.
So so weird stuff happens at shows I go to, but I begged them to go to. One of them wanted to go. We had to get somebody to drive us, and we already were having a good time. And next thing you know, we see a helicopter with Sting.
Oh.
So many people the next day after were like, "Man, we don't even like wrestling," and that was awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they did get some random people in there for that show.
Yeah, because it was spring break.
Yeah.
So it was after our spring break, but there were people still there.
It was.
You walked around like at an indie show and just walked by the ring, and
I've seen the flyer for the last Nitro, which wasn't at La Vila, it was at another place.
No, it was La Vila.
They had 5 hours, all you can drink beer and wrestling for $20. That is the best deal of all time.
That was I mean, I don't remember what the bar situation was. 98, but yeah, I still remember that show. And Jericho mentioned it not on this cruise, the one before. He was sitting with I forgot he was doing the ECW tribute show, and he brings up like back at Panama City at a Nitro. So we're in the photo line. I told him I was at that show. He goes, "You're like the first fan I've met that is like." Said, yeah, Panama City. I was there. Because Stevie Ray told the story. I know I'm getting off topic here. That he refused to go to that last show.
Oh, there was a lot of guys. Yeah. I remember that documentary thing that came out last year, like Who Killed WCW. The last episode was on that show. And you can see DDP like there when they're like setting up the place, but like DDP wasn't on the show. So it's at some point he was like, I'm out of here.
We were supposed to go to that show, that last Nitro. And then I had something to do that night and said, no big deal. And then I get a call because I missed the first like 10 minutes of it, which was the Vince coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, we should have been there. like people aren't going to believe us down the line that we were there. Cause that was before like social media and camera phones and proving it. But it was interesting when I'm going to go back a little bit. You talked about how like people who hated on certain WrestleManias you were at or your time there. And I've had that too, but I was fortunate to go to AW All In last year in London. I was going to be in Ireland. So I said, I'm going to All In. And that one, everybody asked me, what's an English crowd like compared to America? It looked great on TV. So I wonder if wrestling fans are starting to say, man, we can tell on TV better how good a show is. Because I think WWE, their production value is unreal.
Oh, the way Raw looks now
Wow.
it's like you're there, like sitting on your couch. You're like, you feel like you're there. It's like I don't understand like how the colors got better and how the picture got better. And
Yeah.
I don't know. There was one show that we had a little bit of trouble with,
Mhm.
but besides for that, like they've knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, it's funny. You were talking about your tickets for Dallas at that AEW All In show. I learned the hard way. You know how in America it might say gate 4 on your ticket?
Yeah.
Go in any gate you want, and you might have to walk a little further.
Mhm.
So I took that attitude at London. Big mistake at Wembley. To get through, just to give your ticket, you have to get through this huge steel door and scan your ticket. If your ticket doesn't match that gate, the steel door won't scan. I wait in that door, the steel door. Like, you're in the wrong gate. So I go to like a security guy. I'm like, where do I go? He sent me somewhere. That was the wrong one. And then he sent me another one. And then you have to do it twice. You scan the steel door, and then you scan the regular one. And at Wembley, they don't let you leave your area. So, like, if you're in the 200 level, you can only stay in the 200 level.
Nuts.
I wanted to see the lower area. I wanted to like tour the stadium. They wouldn't let you. And it made sense after, because they're like, the soccer crowd gets rowdy. They don't want to have like an influx of people too much in one area.
Mhm.
I said to someone, I'm like, man, America, we don't care. Like, you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought about that when you talked about Dallas and your ticket situation.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, all right. So we talked about Vegas, and we could talk more about it. I loved hearing your side of it, and I'm like kind of fresh for me because I just booked it this week. But Chambers coming up tonight. I'd be remiss if I don't get your predictions for it.
My mind is going 1,000 different directions. Are we just gonna get Cody turning down Rock, and then Rock just gets somebody else to be his guy? Does that mean, because we saw what they tried to do last year with the Rumble, just act like it didn't matter? Like, are they gonna say like whoever wins tonight, Rock's just gonna add somebody else? Is he gonna add himself to the match? Is he gonna add Drew McIntyre, who I think would jump at the fact like to be the Rock's guy? Does Cena turn? Something like that? Because
Punk.
I keep harping on that 1 second of the Royal Rumble. Cena gets eliminated. Cena jumps back in the ring and looks like he's about to jump Uso. And then he like gathers himself and he pats him on the back. And it's like, we saw heel John Cena for one second. Are they going to build on that? Like, he wants 17 so bad that we're finally going to get what we thought we were getting at WrestleMania 28 with the Kane thing. Like, I don't know. I'm really hoping that they're doing something with that. The women's chamber, I'm kind of like up in the air. Like, Alexa Bliss is starting to heat up. Does that mean that they're going to do her? Liv just won the tag title. You would think that maybe she's going to defend it. So does that mean like somebody like Roxanne Perez is going to be like the Cinderella to win? Like, quiet down. That's the thing. I made a video talking about this match, and I don't know what.
It's a great video. I watched it.
There's one women's name that trips that thing every time, and I don't know what it is, but I just don't see Roxanne Perez against Rhea Ripley. That just
she's too young in the game right now.
Yeah. So
I mean, I know she's hot and doing well. I don't mean hot. Like I mean like how she's doing.
She's on the Cinderella story since getting called up. She was in the
Rumble. I don't think she's. I think it's a little early for her to be doing that stuff. I think it's Bliss on that one. We have never seen Bliss and Rhea, their promos before. It would be great. Liv and Rhea have had already 2 matches. Yeah. Both great. The crowd loved them. You can push that to SummerSlam if you have to. Yeah. To me, the whole point of Mania is a match that you've never seen before. Since you've seen them wrestle.
I understand they wanted to use Trish Stratus. They're in Toronto. She's doing the 25 years of Stratus faction. Yeah. Her being on WWE is going to help her when she does all of her like meet and greets at WrestleCons and whatever else she does around the country. But I don't really understand what's going on with that match. Is Charlotte just going to come down there and beat up Tiffany? Are they trying just to give the rub and make Tiffany look like she's a bigger star than she is? I don't really get that match.
I think it's just a match for TV.
Oh, okay.
I think it's my opinion. I think it's just give Trish a moment in her hometown. I think she said it best last night on SmackDown when she's like, "My kids have never seen me wrestle live."
That's cool.
So I think it's just a cool moment because Tiffany already has the match set up with Charlotte. So if there's any chance of Trish turning, which wasn't the case, it's not going to happen there because no skin in the game there.
I always think back to like all the time you see her and Lita together, and like that whole thing with her and Becky Lynch, her heel turn started because like she beat Lita up in the back. Like why has Lita never got to come back and get her one-ups on Trish?
Yeah. It's funny. And you talked about Cena in that moment with Jey Uso. He also had a slight heel moment in the post-game show after that really caught my attention. Because I've always been a believer you're never going to see Cena go heel. And I still don't believe him until I see it. But when he said, I'm going to be in the chamber, I was like, okay, he's John Cena. He doesn't need to qualify, I guess. When he said, and I'm going to main event WrestleMania because it's best for business.
There you go.
That's as heel a line as it gets, if you think. I mean, that's a heel line. He didn't say because I want to have a moment. It's my last chance. I want to win the title. He said because it's best for business.
There we go. We've been talking about it for years. I think we're going to talk about it for one more year. Every single little thing we see, we're pointing at it.
And I don't know how Hunter feels about face versus face in a main event at WrestleMania versus Vince used to. Vince hated the whole idea of that. I know Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart worked out great, obviously. But he's always hated that. How would he feel with babyface Cena versus babyface Cody? It's great for media having a Hollywood star in your main event. So do you think he's going to ever turn heel? I mean, he's got a year to do both. Like,
I think this year we're going to get close. I don't think it's really going to happen, but I think we're going to be all kind of like watching every single thing he does. And I think they're really going to tease that he is desperate. He wants to win that title. He wants to do it. I think he even wants to do it for the fans. Like he owes it to us. But I keep like, even when it was all said, like Cena's going to win the Rumble, Cena's going to go to WrestleMania against Cody. Like, I just don't see Cena versus Cody where Cena doesn't win. And let's say Cena gets the title. How often are we going to see him? And when he loses, like, let's say he wins the title and he loses it at SummerSlam. What do we need him for? No, that's a shitty way to say that. But, what's
injury at some point?
What's he gonna do September, October, November, December? You know what I mean? Like if he's already won the title, lost the title, are we just gonna see him versus Austin Theory, him versus Grayson Waller, just kind of helping guys out, trying to give them more name value? We've seen that for years. I want to see.
I don't think he's doing this run to be a gatekeeper.
I want to see Cena versus Orton, Cena versus Owens. I want to see Cena versus Punk. I want to see rivalries that we've had, you know, in our mind. Like, I want this match, and we haven't got it.
Right. And I mean, he announced his return or this retirement tour in Toronto. And the show's there tonight. Triple H is very good at foreshadowing. People forget, man. Like, I got to give you credit for picking Jey Uso to win the Rumble, by the way. I didn't see it happening, man.
When he came out on Raw and did nothing for like 15 minutes other than like yeet his ass off. And then once he finally stopped, he said in his promo, like, yeah, I had a match on Saturday and I lost. I was like, this fool's going to win. Like, I just knew it right then. Like, I was just like, they don't do this for nobodies. Like, this is what's going on. And like, I remember the year Del Rio won it, which I think is 2011. Like they announced Shawn Michaels for the Hall of Fame. Shawn came out, and then Del Rio came and cut him off. And I was like, why did Del Rio go out there? That doesn't make a lot of sense. And that's when I thought that he was going to win it that year also. And like, there was nothing really pointing to it other than that. And I was like, boom, got
one. Yeah, that's why I'm going by that one moment with Cena, that when he said best for business. And two things with Cena that I was thinking about was, one, he doesn't really do the Make-A-Wish kid thing anymore. That used to always, I mean, not that he wouldn't, but with his Hollywood life, he's not with WWE like that to be doing it.
I really hope he's doing it, but we're not getting it shoved in our face, because I think that's the way he always wanted it. But WWE being WWE is going to make sure everybody knows about it. And I think now that he's probably doing it on an actor's, how do I say it? On a Hollywood set, we'll just call it that.
Yeah.
Maybe there's no camera there to put it out for everybody.
Also, that was also their way of raising money.
Yeah.
Him as the face. So, 'cause I remember Hogan said years ago, man, the risk you take of turning Cena heel, he goes, what if one of these kids who looks up to him and is sick and that makes him say, I don't want to fight anymore.
That's
And Cena used to be the Hogan said that. I said, damn, but he's right. And then he said, Cena was like the guy if they had to go to China to do like some global thing. He was the guy who went with them. Well, he doesn't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So those two factors always prevented him from going heel alone. I mean, I know we're overanalyzing it there, but you're right. But Jey Uso, back to him also, he closed the Raw after Mania last year.
Oh, really? I don't remember that.
The main event of the Raw after Mania, won a #1 contenders match. I forgot with who. Bear with me. But he was yeeting to end that show. And what do you know? A year later, he's in the main event at Mania.
Was that when he got in the IC title hunt? Like, and then
I think so.
Okay, all right, that makes
He
sense.
won a #1 contenders match. I forgot who. I should have looked there and said, "Man, this is foreshadowing." I'm used to the old Vince ways, so now I'm going to look for that stuff more. But I should have put it together then a little bit. But I love how it was such a stacked Rumble, and the guy who they didn't talk about was probably I think he's on par with Cody as a babyface in terms of popularity, merch sales, everything.
I mean, I was watching the Rumble, and as it like before it even ended, I was like, this is the chamber right here. Like, I was off by one guy because I didn't know they were going to say that Roman got hurt and he couldn't wrestle. But I was like, this is going to be. I was already looking forward to next month, and I was like, that match is going to be awesome.
That's awesome. But he's now making these PLEs mean something.
Yeah.
Chamber used to be a throwaway show before Mania, for the most part. I love it, man. I can't remember last time I've said 3 days before Elimination Chambers this week. I got to watch it.
Yeah.
Like, I give them credit for that. Like, they reinvigorated my love for wrestling in a way. Like AEW did in 2019 when they came, but this is a different type. Because they're bringing back I think them being in the same company as UFC, and Hunter does have a relationship with Dana White. I think Dana kind of taught him about, the entertainment value, but the big fight feel.
That makes sense.
Where, like, the way they hype the week of a show is kind of like what UFC does. By that Wednesday or Thursday, you're chomping at the bit for the fight.
Oh.
I think they're doing that in WWE now in such a great way.
I'll tell you the truth. I can't remember the last UFC fight that I really got up for. It's been a long time for me. I just don't know who the guys are.
Same here. I don't watch like I used to. I used to go to Vegas 2 to 3 times a year for a fight. I don't anymore.
The T-Mobile, like the place.
Yeah, well, now it's T-Mobile, but I used to go to. The big fights were always at MGM or Mandalay.
Oh, okay, all right.
Way before they had the T-Mobile. I mean, back in the day, that was the biggest arena there for the fights. Well, no, they had the UNLV place, but it was always in MGM or Mandalay.
That's really
same with Mayweather. He always fought at MGM. So that's why I thought, man, maybe Raw might be at the MGM Grand. Right then, but it makes sense. T-Mobile.
I thought they would find a way to do like the Spear or something like that. I didn't know the Grateful Dead was going to be there. I mean, like that was the one thing that I was kind of like, oh, they're going to find a way, and I would, if it's $1,000, I'll pay it, whatever it costs.
I mean, the Spear.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be cool.
I mean, they know the right people, obviously, with TKO. Their budget would be. I mean, Netflix would pay it.
That would have been really, really cool.
I mean, Netflix has to. Oh man, I don't know. How do you? I mean, they did it for a UFC fight, so it could be done, but it would only be to like travel package people.
Oh.
They'd probably be the first people there.
I was worried about Raw tickets this year when they came out. I saw, like, I remember they released the 3-day passes, and even though like I didn't really have on my schedule that I was going to SmackDown for sure. I didn't really want to go to NXT because of how close it is to WrestleMania, and didn't want to like have to like, okay, I'm going to leave before the main event because I want to make sure I get there on time and then miss something really cool. I was like, maybe I should just buy this 3-day pass to make sure I get a Raw ticket and then like not have to pay like some secondary price. I had in my budget that I was almost willing to pay like $500 to $600 for a Raw ticket. That's what I was expecting to pay.
That's I've seen it. I saw it. I checked it today. It's like I think it starts at 280 and goes up to God knows what.
Mhm.
I mean, Raw tickets are close to Mania prices.
Yeah, they don't have hundreds. They have single numbers, but like in the equivalent of the hundreds, I got a ticket there. I think it was like $200 to $300. Yeah, I don't really remember, but I do remember kind of being like, man, they're like we've been joking about it, but they're gonna price a lot of people out. And I think like I'm wondering like if it'll get to a point when like WrestleMania is not able to be like in a football stadium because they want to make so much money. Like, do you want to have a WrestleMania and not have it full? Like, do you want the word to be out there?
Wrestling fans tend to always step up and pay. Crazy. I mean, I'll be in line at a superstore and I'll have someone in front of me complaining about money for whatever, and that's fine. I'll listen. Like, obviously they're venting. Then you see them go in the store and spend $400,
dude. Like,
and I don't tell people how to spend their money. I don't know what they have, but they talk your ear off about, I can't believe it's this much, and I did this to get, and then and I'm like, obviously you got it somewhere. Like
WWE Shop is different. Like they sold the Fanatics. That's a whole nother deal. The way they do ads now is different. Like when something's brand new in the store, they won't let you put a coupon code on it for like, I haven't really figured it out. It's like a month, maybe 2 months. Yeah. Like they want to make sure they can sell as much as they can before they start selling it cheaper. Right. But like if there's something that you know you need, buy it now. Get it for 20% off. Like find a cheaper way to get it because there are no sales once you walk in that place. It doesn't matter how old of a shirt it is, it's $40. That's just
and they factor in there what they would lose on shipping.
Yeah.
But they're so smart at that. But what I've learned with Fanatics and the new shop system is, maybe I'm kind of crazy like that, is you always check both the Fanatics site and the Shop WWE site for the same item.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. There have been many times where I go on Shop WWE and it's whatever it is, and then I go on Fanatics and the same item is 20% off.
Hmm.
The other day, it was discounted on Shop WWE, but not on the Fanatics site. So always just check both. Sometimes Fanatics running its own sale.
I bought my Jimmy Uso stuff. He came out with orange gear the next week. I bought a Finn Balor shirt. He came out with a new shirt like 2 weeks later. And I was like, I can't win here.
Yeah, but they don't deal like they used to.
No.
Like I said to myself, there was a couple things I was eyeing for Mania now, and I was like, all right, Saturday, Chamber Day, guaranteed 25%, nothing.
Yeah.
The best way they do it is the shipping.
Yeah,
I catch it on it was 40% off on President's Day.
Yeah, and
I always say, Stevie, go to both sites. If you know you're gonna get the item, whatever, just go to both.
It says 40% off. Like they have some stuff, but then you go to other stuff. Like I remember on Black Friday, I was like, I had a list of stuff. Like I'm gonna buy this, and it was like some of the stuff wasn't even on a part of the sale. And I was like, it's the John Cena hat. How was it not on the sale? Like it just didn't make sense. Like
they're much more particular. It used to be everything in the store.
Yeah.
They're good now. Like the Penta stuff, I'm like, eventually drop the price. Like, but man, I promise I wouldn't keep you forever. Been great. Please, I hope to see you in Vegas at one of the shows. I got to get you in my vlog, and I just wanted to catch up with you. I think I met the one time I met you, New Orleans, WrestleMania 30.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Jeremy, you want to do this again anytime?
I'd love to.
Like, we called this WrestleMania 41 Vegas talk, and we didn't really talk about it. So, like, if you want to get together another time, another day, we can go through our schedules and like get people fired up. Like, I'm down for it.
Yeah, when Mania gets closer, man, I'd love to have you on for a preview show.
I got you. We're all
preview show and Vegas talk. And if you have any Vegas questions, man, hit me up. I've been there a lot. Anyway, I can help you.
Notes app that I have on there, and if you see anything that you're like, hey, stay away from that, don't do this. I had one thing on there that I saw that I thought was like going to be a deal place to go eat at, and then I looked it up and the place is staying closed. So I'm like, how did I miss out on that?
Yeah, but
But
you did a great job when you talked about watch your dollars when you get to Vegas.
oh, big time.
It's because the prices have gone up there since they got pro teams.
Uh,
Not that it was cheap before. I'm not saying it was because it wasn't.
the
But
one thing I said
that
wrong is
used to be kind of their thing was to get you in. It's free parking.
yeah,
We
that's
won some deals here at the restaurant to get you. Now it's like, man, we got pro teams. We charge for parking by the. So yeah, you got to really be careful there now.
the one thing I said wrong in that video was that there's no like real bank ATMs. I just learned that if you have a Bank of America account, there's a Bank of America ATM in the M&M store, which I think is next to the MGM Grand.
It is.
I don't see myself like running all the way over there to get
Right.
it. So I'm just trying to prepay for as much stuff as I can, especially WrestleCon stuff, because I don't want to be like trying to meet a wrestler and like pull like into my fanny pack to like pull a 20 out or something like that, and all my 20s just go flying in the air or something
They
like
can go fast at WrestleCon.
that.
I mean, even if you think you're not doing much there, Orlando, I must have prepaid for so many.
Mhm.
I had to keep going through my phone, but I was like, at least I know it's there.
Yeah.
But then you run the risk if they don't show up. I mean, you get a refund,
Yeah. Just
but
waiting for how long
if you don't go, then you lose it.
like
So,
I prepaid for a bunch of people. Today was the first day I pulled somebody up and was like, "Oh, they're charging that much?" Like,
I did that for Soraya.
time I kind of hit the like, "Oh, wait a minute, like these are adding up."
Yeah,
But
Soraya, because I'd love to get paid for my encyclopedia. I'm like 100.
yeah,
You're not a Hall of Famer. Like your
uh,
AEW run's been okay, nothing special.
I think the guy that I saw that today was Rob Van Dam, and I think he was 135 for a combo, and I was like, I've met Rob Van
Inflation is killing the WrestleCon game.
Dam twice in my life,
I
like
never paid close to that
yeah,
8 years ago in Orlando for him.
no way. I think that the collectibles market, wrestlers are learning what autographs are worth, and they're trying to get their cut, and I don't know.
I think it's that, and from what I've heard is they try to be competitive with each other.
Mhm.
So let's say Rob wanted to charge 50, but he hears Sandman's doing 90. Well,
Yeah.
you're 90.
Mhm. I can honestly say that of all the things I've ever got signed, WrestleCon, Access, this, that, or the other, I've never sold anything. Like I still have everything I've ever had. So like
Yeah,
uh I guess people just go in there getting cards signed, figures signed. I guess they run it. Maybe even high spots. They run it, but I mean like them selling the figures like that, they're seeing their elite sells for 140 out in the store. Why am I not getting
right.
so much of that?
And some of the wrestlers saying, like, yeah, this we won't sign. Like, and I get it. Like, I remember Cardona did it, but I guess it was a one of like 100 on one of his old Funkos.
Oh, that's
And
crazy.
someone gave it to him to sign, and he did it, but he made that person like promise. I better not see us on eBay. Like, I bet. But it's so much easier to flip stuff now.
Yeah.
In the old days, it was a lot harder.
I don't know. I would just I would think it's too much work to sell something. Honestly, I don't
It
know.
is. It is. Yeah. But man, I thank you so much for your time. I'd love to have you back on when Mania gets closer, and we'll preview Vegas even harder and the card itself.
I got you. I got you. Just tweet me. I gave you my number. If you want to use my number, use my number. Call me, text me, whatever you need anytime, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Likewise, man. You got my number now. Don't be a stranger, man. For real.
I appreciate it.
Hey, enjoy the chamber, and thank you, everyone. Stevie, thank you again for your time.
Boom.
Too sweet. Hang on a second after I hang up.
Oh shoot! If I